What I'm here to do with you today is not talk to you about your business plans with development, apps. You probably won't get very far, I gave you that. But what I'm here to talk to you about is a piece of the puzzle, is a part of this puzzle that's really important, that's going to help you get to where you want to go. To create those opportunities that I told you about where people are selling their businesses for a ridiculous amount. I'm here to talk to you about being likable and what that actually means. I'm going to give you that piece of the puzzle today. But first of all, it's really key to understand that I'm not here today to make you all the most likable people in the world, because we can't all be liked by everybody. It's not the way it works. I'm going to prove it to you in about 2 minutes. Sorry, but I'm going to have to prove it to you all. But then the other side of that as well with this is understanding that we're not aiming to get you to be liked by everyone, but instead to be liked by the people that are important, to have impact on the people that are important, and to be able to create opportunities. Because if you start having a likable nature, then you create more opportunities, which creates business, and creates profits, and creates a better life. So, before we do all of this and go into all of this, what I want to do is a quick experiment. But you're all going to have to get involved, because if you don't get involved, it's not going to work. And I saw everybody's faces start to light up then and think, oh shit, I didn't want to do this. But what we're going to do is we're going to do a little experiment. It's going to take about 20 seconds. It's going to warm you up nicely as well for the speed pitches you're going to be doing now and the speed dating and whatever else you're going to be doing. So what I want you to do is when I say, I'm going to give you 20 seconds to just look around the room. And what I want you to do, don't do it yet, what I want you to do then from that is just to notice as many people as possible. Just to notice as many people as possible. See how many faces you can connect with. Okay? And then, when I say eyes forward, I've got this thing here. I'll be able to get it out.
Yep.
I've also got free phones as well that I'm giving away.
No,
that's all right.
I do.
Brilliant. When I shout out, eyes forward or eyes forward, like that in a very posh voice, then what you're going to do is keep your eyes forward, and then you're going to close your eyes and await my direction. Okay? So then we're going to look around. Okay? We're going to look around, and then when we look around, then we're going to have 20 seconds just to notice as many people as possible, and then from that, then you're going to go look straight forward, and then you're going to close your eyes. Does that make sense to everybody? Just look around. So when I say go, we're going to count down from 5 to 1 together. You ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, look around. 20 seconds on the clock now. Notice as many people as you can. Don't be shy. Just look around. How many people can you notice?
They're not hearing you at the back, so maybe use that handheld.
Keep looking. Eyes forward. And everybody close your eyes. I'm using the microphone now. Everyone close your eyes. Everyone's doing it, so don't be embarrassed, don't be shy. Everyone's doing it. Now what's actually happening right now is my team of associates are going around and seeing your purses and wallets and your clothes. No, I'm only joking, you can relax. But what we're not going to do right now, for everyone who's got their eyes closed, if you keep them closed, what we're not going to do now is some sort of relaxation technique. This is not what we're here for either. But what I want you to do is start to pick a picture in your mind where you start thinking of all the people that you noticed when you were doing that exercise. So look at one person, start to paint one picture in your mind who you noticed. Then maybe you can picture two people. What were they wearing? Facial expressions. Just try and picture them and almost make it into a little game. Maybe you start to notice 3 people, remember 4 people, and keep going until you remember it. I'll just give you a few more seconds. Okay, and when you're ready, come back and open your eyes. You're not hypnotized, it's okay, it was just a little test. Who remembered one person out of where they looked around? Who remembered one person? Good, okay, I'm glad we've got some people here who can remember faces, good. 2 people? 3 people? 4 people? Bloody hell, Mensa standard going on here. 5 people? And onwards, further and further. So we've got a lot of people remembering a lot of different faces. Why do we do that? Basically what I'm trying to show you here, when we first see people, we make a judgment. We make a judgment straight away. And I know a lot of you are probably thinking now, no, I don't judge Sam, it's not what I do, I don't judge people. But we do. It's bullshit, we do. It's programmed into our brains. The reptilian brain at the back of our head, we are programmed to make snap judgments on people. And we have to put them into categories. So when we put them into categories, we put them in 4 categories. I've got different names to them that I'm going to show you now that you can use and you can tell your colleagues or people around you when you leave here. The first category is being of value. Okay, so when we first see somebody, we see something about them from our past experiences or something that happened to us where we see they have a bit of value. Maybe they look friendly, maybe there's something about them, they had a confident presence, they have something about them, maybe it's something they're wearing, maybe it's something superficial, but something we make a judgment of that they're okay and they're all right. The second category then is an enemy. Okay, now that doesn't mean that we want to throw stones at this person or spears. It's not that whatsoever. But what it is that there's something about this person from something that we've seen before in the past or something we just don't like that we need to be on guard for. We can't be ourselves. We almost have to filter what we do. Have we ever felt that with somebody before? We feel like we have to filter what we do? We had that before? Everyone loves everyone. Is that what happens here? Superb, it's just me then. I'm the only person. So from that then, from somebody you spot as an enemy there, then it goes into something which is called sexual partner. Okay, and it's somebody we perceive to be attractive. Hopefully you heard Rob's message that it's not a speed dating event, it's not a romantic event, so hopefully we haven't got too many of those when you just looked around there. But a sexual partner, we see something that's attractive about them, their traits, something about their physical presence, there's something about them we find attractive. And then the final one, and why I do what I do, is when somebody is indifferent. So you didn't notice. So if you looked around there, and for argument's sake you saw 5 people, you had the opportunity to see 30 people. Okay, you couldn't have seen all 200 unless you had more time or you went around meeting everybody. So in that time, those people that you didn't see were indifferent to you. They had no impact because they were indifferent to you. And this is why I do what I do. So my coaching business sees people going from indifferent to making impact. That's what we try to do. So from that, why I do it is because when I was a kid, I was shy. I wasn't the shyest person in the room, but I was shy and I had lack of self-confidence, never be up here doing this. And I didn't have the courage then to do things. And I do things, and I'd have so much value inside me, so much unlocked inside me that I just couldn't open out and couldn't communicate it to people. And I didn't want that to happen. And then as soon as I started to develop my journey through different methods then, I grew a business from it. And it became very successful. And today I've helped individually, it's 124 people through my individual program, and speaking a lot more. You guys here is about 200, 250, all the way to the back. And the reason why this is so important, because I see so many people, especially entrepreneurs, up-and-coming entrepreneurs, or people trying to do anything in their life to deliver a vision or a dream, they are unable to, first of all, know that value, and then secondly and importantly, they don't get to communicate that. And then when they're unable to communicate it, then these ideas are lost. We were just talking at the front about people having loads of ideas but not being able to communicate to the world. And it's such a loss. It sounds a bit cheesy, but it's so true, because I experienced it for many years. Okay, so this is what we're going to talk about then. We understand that those areas are really important, that this is what happens when we judge. So we need to know how we can get towards that area of becoming more likable or being able to present yourself in a way. But we need to do it in a natural way, because there's so much information out there that turns you into something else. This is not what it's about. It's being able to turn yourself into a person turn yourself into your best self, where you can start communicating what it is, but do that on a better scale. So if you're more quieter, or you're maybe more of an introvert, I'm a bit of an introvert, then to be more assertive. Or if you're an extrovert and you're really high energy, to maybe control it, especially when you're in front of investors potentially. So to be able to do those things. So what I'm going to do is take you through a 4-step process, okay? But when I say 4-step process, it doesn't mean you have to do this, this, and this, and that. So it's more of 4 ideas that can help you be more natural, and more likable in the time we have. Okay, the acronym is VIA, which is V-I-E-R. Does anyone like count down or boggle when they're a kid? Okay, if you're any good at that, help me come up with a better acronym, because VIA is not good enough. It's not marketable. Okay, so VIA, basically what it means, the first one, V, as you probably guessed from what we did at the beginning, we want to make people more valuable. So what do you have to be more likable? You have to be more valuable. You have to bring more value. But that doesn't mean you start communicating in a way that's fake. What that means is you start to understand the value that you have. So your certain strengths, and then once you have those, developing a good lifestyle, developing things around that, having a vision. I'm sure all of you guys here have a vision of what it's going to be in 5 years, where your businesses are going to be, or where your project groups are going to be. You can have a vision of that. And once you have that then inside, it allows you to bring across that value into conversations and into that. It's so much better when you meet people and they have something about them. You can just tell they're engaged because there's something about their vision or something about their life that they're passionate about. So much better. I guarantee the majority of you here have that. And if you don't, you need it, because that's what's going to get people to buy into you, because that's what it's about, buying into you, isn't it? So to be valuable, the best things to do about that, start to look about what you're doing day to day. How you spend your time is a huge part of how valuable your life will be. Because if you spend your time outside of business, say you've got a relationship that you think's crap, or you're sick of everything going on in your house, or you don't have a social life, then the value you'll be able to give across in conversations and the passion you'll be able to give across will be limited. So the first thing, to develop more value in life makes you be more likable and more present within a conversation, within meeting people. The second side of that then, on the I, is being interested. To be interested in people. One of the biggest Problems is that we instantly cut ourselves off. So I gave you those 4 examples there, where we're either valuable, we either see somebody as an enemy, sexual partner, or indifferent. The people that we're perceiving as indifferent, they've got something within inside them that we all have that we just need to unlock. So it's our own personal responsibility then to try and unlock that within them, to help get them from where they are, to get that out of them. Because a big part of becoming more confident, for example, is enabling other people to be more confident. It's a huge, huge thing to do. So if we're looking at becoming more interested, how do we become more interested? Very simple. Start asking more questions. Questions is incredible. If you think of 2 or 3 questions, there's 10 more that you'll be able to be asking people. When you're speaking to people tonight, don't just ask the simple questions like, what do you do? Where are you from? You know, the small talk questions. Move on to something that I call big talk, where you start, you know, why are you doing that? Why are you passionate about a certain thing? You know, why did you get into developing games, or why did you get into developing stuff to do with technology? Like, I'm interested to find that out because it's not something I'm interested in, but it's not something I'm living. So that's probably my key question for a lot of you when I'm speaking to you later. So become interested, because you will unlock value, and from when you unlock value from other people, then you big opportunities, they come along. It's a big part of networking as well. Okay, so then we're on V, then we did I, then E, energized. We have to be energized to be likable. You see people that are energized. And what do I mean by that? It doesn't mean that we're jumping up and down on stage. If I started jumping up and down on stage straight away, you wouldn't see me as authentic, because that's not me. That's not what I do. But if you come with being energized, it's about being present and being focused. So all I'm doing right now is I'm not thinking about my dinner, or I'm not thinking about what I'm going to do tomorrow. All I'm focused on is just chatting to you guys. And it should take the exact same principle when you're speaking to people within business, or in your social setting, or with your, even with your family, because often we switch off when we speak to our family, but just being present within that situation. Being able to do that, okay? So just to be energized in something. Quick way to be energized, simple one, change your body. That's the first thing to do. Always change your body, become more energized. If you are speaking to somebody and you're like this, and you're bent over, and your voice drops, it's not going to be engaging for them, it's not going to be engaging for you. Whereas if you lift yourself up, you become more present and just focusing what is happening right now, and not what's happening 10 minutes ago or 10 minutes in the future. If you just focus on being right there and change your body to be there and be present and be engaged, you will get a lot more from other people. You'll get a lot more from other people, and you'll give a lot more to other people as well. So the final thing with Energize then, after we've done that then, we move on to the final R, which is being real. That's the final thing, is just being real. Because a lot of training, probably my biggest bugbear with personal development and why I've been able to accelerate to where I am so quickly, is there's a lot of things out there that teach us to be more inauthentic, or not to be true to who we actually are. And that sounds like a Miss World speech, but it's very, very true, because we try to become something that we're not, or we see somebody that we really admire and we try and become that. There's some very influential people out there that we see and we think, oh God, I want to be like that. But we can't be like that, because they do that in their own unique way. The biggest thing to learn, and this comes with confidence, this comes with experimenting and learning new skills, and through self-development in general, is understanding what you have and then unlocking that unique thing that I'm talking about, and being able to then communicate that in a way that only you can communicate it. So really focus on that side. Really focus on that side where you can be real and can be authentic and do that, because people aren't stupid. People will be able to see through it straight away. Okay? So main finishing point then, if you think about this all together, if you start creating value for yourself in your own life, you feel valuable, you feel engaged, you feel fulfilled, then suddenly you start to become more interesting, and then from that you start to get energy from it, and then you become more interested in people, because you start to see the potential in other people. Then from that, then you look from being more interested in other people, you start to get energy from it. So you're not just going through the realms of what do you do, you know, how are things. You go through that and you become energized through it, and you start creating opportunities. And then from that, the final side, you're able to be yourself, because you're confident in what you're delivering and what you're getting back from other people. Okay? So final message then, don't try and be liked by everybody, because it's not going to happen. You will be an enemy to everybody. You know, there'll be an enemy to somebody, you'll be valuable to some people, hopefully you'll be a sexual partner to some people as well, as we all like, and you'll get that side, okay? So thank you so much for listening. Hopefully we'll have some questions, potentially. We'll have some questions, anything you need to know about me. I'm not here selling you anything tonight, it's just a little off the riff, no PowerPoint. Then I'm happy to take your questions. Thank you.
So a round of applause for Sam.
Any questions? Man at the front.
The main problem with working with emotional aspects is that you speak to a person, they may agree with you rationally, and their internal emotional makeup will go, I won't do that. In other words, confidence is very hard to develop. It's not enough to wish it into existence. It's something that builds, most likely from your childhood. How do you then speak to the emotional side of a person as a coach and get it to shift?
Yeah.
And just repeat the question for the people at the back.
Yeah, so basically what we're talking about there, it's generally what we're talking about is confidence, if I'm right, and seeing how then we can link our emotional self then to becoming more confident. That's roughly what we're talking about.
How you bring confidence into people.
How you make other people confident or yourself confident?
How do you get a person's emotional makeup to shift?
Okay, so how do I do that?
Yes, how do you do it?
Excellent. Okay, just had to clarify because I don't want to answer a different question. Confidence is a really important thing. Confidence is like learning an instrument. It's something that can be learned. And I'm speaking from somebody that had really low self-confidence to a stage when I was at about 13 where I became very depressed and very anxious. So you imagine an anxious kid talking up on stage here now, that's going to be quite difficult. So the issue with confidence is people don't understand what confidence is. They see it as some weird thing that I can't get, but Jeff in accounting does have. It's that issue with it that we don't have. So how to develop it then, there's 3 different things that I'd look at first of all. Confidence is in 3 different layers. The external layer is how we do it externally. It's physical confidence, how we do it. So how I'm communicating to you now, I'm coming from I'm very physically confident with how I'm using my hands, not so much with a microphone because I never use them, but we've got to do it so the guys at the back can hear. But physical confidence and using your body then, as I said, to become more energized in order to feel more confident. If I came on stage, just not talking to anybody before I went here, I started talking to people around about different things. That gives me energy, gives me more confidence. I've been speaking to people, so you suddenly aren't this scary audience. They're all people I've been talking to in the first 20 minutes that I got here. Then from that, then we get from the external layer, we go into the lifestyle layer. And the lifestyle layer is this is how we create value basically, is where we do things that we enjoy. We spend our time on things we enjoy. And that tells the emotional side of ourselves then that, oh, I am doing something of purpose. I am doing something that is right with my time. So my business is great. Hopefully you have a lot of that here. A lot of you, I imagine, have that quite well. But even then, spending time on things like our social life, our families, these are the really important things that you get people now 35, 40 that come to me that are just like, well, I've earned all this money, but I haven't got a lifestyle. I don't have a life. I've got all this money, don't know what to do with it. It's a classic case of that. But the most important thing for the emotional side then is the core side. So the 3rd layer, the core side of confidence. This is massively important, what everybody struggles with. So this is all about the self-system then. So self-system, self-efficacy, self-belief, and self-love is a really popular thing we're talking about now. But it's the belief in oneself, the relationship we have with oneself. If we don't have that relationship with oneself where we think, I'm awesome, then we're going to struggle. Because the same with being likable. If you don't like yourself first, and then you're trying to use different, almost manipulative techniques to get people to like you, then it's not going to work, because people see through it, because people are very, very smart. Very smart. So that's the way to do it. So to shift it to being emotional, so you start to believe it then, core, lifestyle, physical side. Work on that over time. It's like learning an instrument. Anyone can become confident, and I'm a case of that. I promise you I'm a case of that. Thank you for that.
You're going to be sticking around?
I'm going to be sticking around. I'll have cards and stuff if you don't see me, but yeah.
So Sam's going to be here at the end, so feel free to come and chat to him afterwards. Thank you very much, Sam.
Thank you.